finally, One Piece episode 1141 has arrived, where we get to see the giant warrior pirates crash the party. Luffy unleash a brand new Gear 5 attack that absolutely bodies a Gorosei, and the Blackbeard pirates finally make their horrifying move on Egghead. Watch till the end to find out what Blackbeard's true, world-shattering goal actually is. Alright, so the episode kicks off with the giants storming the coast, and it is a glorious sight. Their iconic Viking Drakkar, the Great Eric, plows through the waves as Dory and Brogy, the legendary co-captains, start barking orders. These absolute units, both 160 years old and standing over 20 meters tall, are known as the Blue Oni and Red Oni of Elbaf, and after being stuck dueling on Little Garden for over 100 years, they are finally back in action. Dory tells Oimo and Kashi to take the main force, swing around the sides of the island, and just start sinking every single marine ship they see. And these two are more than happy to oblige, remembering how Usopp freed them from a half-century of being tricked into guarding Eni's lobby. The rest of the giant crew lets out a massive war cry, raising their axes as they charge onto Egghead, and the Marines are just screaming into their Den Den Mushis, completely panicking. A legendary pirate crew that's been disbanded for a century just showed up out of nowhere to help a Yonko, and now they're just tearing the Buster Call blockade to pieces. Up on the Labo phase, someone is gasping, and it's our boy Usopp. He's got the binoculars out, and he is just bawling his eyes out, seeing his old masters from Little Garden back in the fight. He's screaming their names, still not believing it's real. Nami, ever the sharp one, immediately spots Oimo and Kashi in the chaos and puts it all together. They must have gone to Little Garden to pick up their captains. This is a huge relief for Usopp, who was terrified he'd never get to see them in Elbaf like he always dreamed. Edison is just blown away, first by the sheer power of the giants, and second that the Straw Hats somehow have friends this legendary. He figures the news of the Egghead incident must have leaked, and even with the world government trying to spin the story, the giants knew who to trust. Usopp snaps back to reality. The giants are here for a rescue mission, not a full-blown war. They need to get their escape preparations finished right now. Just then, the Den Den Mushi rings. It's Brook and Lilith on the Thousand Sunny, which is still sliding across the frozen clouds. They're getting close to the edge, but they have no way to stop the ship. Lilith, however, says she has an idea, but she needs Nami and the others to pay close attention and follow her directions. Elsewhere, Jinbei is still bouncing across the clouds, making a beeline for Zoro. And speaking of Zoro, he is still locked in that brutal stalemate with Rob Lucci. This fight has been raging this entire time, and both of them are starting to look seriously worn out. Lucci, being the ruthless government dog he is, tries to get in Zoro's head, calling him dead weight and a burden to his crew. He sneers that the Straw Hats will never escape if they have to wait for him, so Zoro should just give up and let his friends live. But Zoro just scoffs, mocking Lucci for thinking he's in any position to be making demands. And let's be real, we've seen the leaks. My man Zoro hasn't even put on his bandana yet. He is not taking this seriously. Lucci is just stalling for time, and Zoro's about to make him regret it. Down at the coastline, the situation is pure chaos. The pacifistas are just relentlessly blasting the Marine fleet, sinking another ship with a laser beam. A report comes in that 30, that's nearly a third of the entire Buster Call force and almost half of their smaller ships have been destroyed. Vice Admiral Red King, this wild-looking cyborg dude whose name is a reference to an Ultraman monster, is furious. He orders all the smaller ships to pull back and let the massive battleships lead the charge. They open fire on the pacifistas, and Red King looks disgusted that he has to order the destruction of their own weapons. You can even see one of the pacifistas look genuinely upset as it gets blasted, making you wonder if the Buccaneer DNA is making them feel real emotions. Back in the center of the island, we cut to Luffy, hanging in the air in his full Gear 5 Nika form. He looks down at Bonnie and just casually asks her why she's crying. Bonnie, still overwhelmed, just chokes out that she's been looking for him for so long. Luffy is totally confused, saying he's been right here with her this whole time. She tries to explain that she was looking for Nika, and Luffy, bless his heart, is just like, "What is Nika?" Before she can even answer, he changes the subject, telling her that punch she threw earlier was super weak. Bonnie rolls with it, telling him if it was so weak, he should show her how a real Nika punch works. She points right at Saturn, her voice filled with rage, saying they need vengeance for what he did to Vegapunk. That's when Luffy finally sees the old doctor, impaled and dying on the ground. The goofy smile vanishes from his face. Saturn, completely unrepentant, declares that none of them have a right to live. But Luffy just rejects that outright. Saturn glares, unleashing that same invisible eye power that paralyzed everyone before. It slams into Luffy, knocking his head back and drawing blood, proving this weird power isn't something Gear 5 can just cartoonishly ignore. But this is Luffy we're talking about. He grits his teeth and yells that Saturn is going to pay. He pulls both his giant fists back and unleashes a brand new god-tier attack, Gomu Gomu no Dan Gatling. It's a storm of rapid-fire hockey-infused punches that just mercilessly hammer Saturn's face. The Five Elder has no defense, no backup plan, nothing. He's just sent flying, smashing through building after building. The satisfaction on Bonnie's, Kuma's, and even Vegapunk's face says it all. Yo, hold up. If Luffy's Dan Gatling on Saturn got you hyped, smash that subscribe button to stay in the game. Drop a like too, it gets this recap to more One Piece fans. Let's dive back into the madness of Egghead. With Saturn temporarily out of the picture, Frankie tells Bonnie it's time to go. She rushes to Vegapunk trying to get him to move, but the old man knows it's over. He tells her with his medical knowledge, moving him now would kill him instantly. But before they can even process that, Kizaru is back. He's floating above them, charging a laser, his face a mask of conflict. He knows he has to do this, but you can tell he doesn't want to. He closes his eyes and fires, but Sanji appears out of nowhere. He intercepts the laser beam with a kick, sending sparks flying. Frankie is gobsmacked. Kizaru's jaw is on the floor. We have never seen the Admiral look this shocked. It's like Enel seeing Luffy tank his lightning for the first time. Sanji just coolly says that love shines brighter than light, but you can see his eyebrow has switched to the Germa 66 pattern. His genetic augmentations are kicking in. Kizaru, completely bewildered, mutters that if that's how it worked, we wouldn't need physics. Frankie and Atlas grab Bonnie and Kuma and take off, heading for the coast to meet up with the giants. Kizaru holds his head, his mission a total failure. All he has left are Luffy and Sanji, who just laughs at him. Sanji lights a cigarette and tells the Admiral he better start working on his apology letter for screwing this up so badly. What an absolute legend. Meanwhile, Saturn is slowly pulling himself from the rubble when two figures appear. It's Katarina Devon and Van Augur of the Blackbeard Pirates. Devon just laughs, calling the sight of a Gorosei lying in the dirt delicious. She steps forward, puts her hand on Saturn's spider leg, and happily declares, "Mission complete." Thanks to her mythical nine-tailed fox devil fruit, she can now transform into one of the 5 most powerful figures in the world. Saturn is furious, demanding to know what they're doing here. He finds it bizarre that a notorious criminal from level 6 of Impel Down would choose to serve anyone. But Devon just chuckles and says that Teach is special. Saturn's eyes narrow. He agrees, adding, his bloodline as well. Devon is shocked he knows. Is he talking about the D clan? Or could Blackbeard be part of a special race? It would explain his abnormal body and how he can hold 2 devil fruits. Saturn demands to know what their goal is. Van Augur, barely even looking at him, gives a one-word answer that shakes the very foundation of the world. The world. They're not just after the One Piece, they want it all, just like Rox D. Zebek. Saturn attacks, but Augur warps them away with his devil fruit. They're still on the island. Augur admits his powers aren't perfected yet, but they're out of immediate danger. And just as they're about to leave, they get another surprise. A slimy figure comes running towards them, crying. It's Caribou. He goes full fanboy, calling them by their titles and begging them to let him meet Blackbeard. He idolizes Teach and became a pirate because of him. And this is catastrophic because Caribou knows everything. He overheard that Poseidon is Shirahoshi and that the ancient weapon Pluton is sleeping beneath Wano. He's about to hand the keys to 2 of the 3 most dangerous weapons in history directly to the Blackbeard Pirates. That's episode 1141, Luffy finally getting vengeance for Vegapunk, the Blackbeard Pirates copying a Gorosei's form, and Caribou spilling secrets about the ancient weapons hit hard. If this recap got you amped, smash that like button and comment below to spread it to more One Piece fans. It'll get the next one out quick. Subscribe to keep the hype alive, and I'll catch you next time.